The United States and the Philippines have one of the closest bilateral relationships that's going on for more than 100 years. The United States has been one of the largest investors to the very economy of the archipelago nation. In 2020, the two countries had a total trade estimated to be worth over $25.3 billion, which makes the United States the second largest trade partner for the Philippines, only behind the country of Japan. Moreover, the USA has also stood as one of the largest sources of foreign direct investment. In 2020 alone, it stood out as it emerged as the largest source of it, far surpassing other nations after it invested over $5.2 billion, which is 31.5% of the total foreign investments that year. So how did the US emerge as the Philippines' most strategic and economic ally? Before we move on, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe for more. The US and the Philippines has a very long history. It dates way back to the 16th century, which makes the Philippines the oldest Asian ethnic group in the United States. But the most significant story in history is when the United States came to rule over the nation from 1898 to 1946. It was a time when several wars were going on and mass developments weren't really on the list. By 1946, when the nation gained independence, it signed several treaties with the US, some of which are tied to military agreements. This allowed the US to stay on Philippine grounds as it established its military presence, mostly placed in facilities like the Clark Air Base and Subic Bay Naval Complex. This deal would be crucial for the economy of the Philippines, as the world's greatest superpower at the time was present in the nation. And in the drought of several conflicts the world was still facing, especially knowing that peace is one of the largest contributors to an economy's success. At the same time, a treaty would be signed called the Bell Trade Act. This would enable the two economies to be interlinked through trade and currencies. By 1955, a revised Bell Trade Act was established, and it was called the Laurel-Langley Agreement, which would be the next economic agreement. Fast forward to 1973, the USA would continue to dominate the entire foreign investment landscape for the nation. From that year till 1993, Japan would only come so close to becoming the other international investor, but nowhere near. Come the modern day, the US has undoubtedly appeared as one of the Philippines' greatest economic allies, having done several military pacts and most importantly being a huge economic partner. From 1997, the US has started to emerge among the largest foreign investors in the Philippines after it invested over $3.5 billion. But this would just be the start, as 10 years later, by 2007, it would be worth over $7 billion. The United States emerged with these billion-dollar companies, and an expansion was rather inevitable. They wanted to go around the world, and likely wanted another base of operations where they can operate with lower costs. Hence, the Philippines will enter as an American ally, and as the nation's policies are known to be foreign-friendly. Around the 1950s to 1960s, the FDI from the US shifted from investments in infrastructure, such as transportation, to manufacturing, which by 1966 emerged as the largest source of investments. At the time, items that were up for manufacturing were products such as aluminum, batteries, wires, electrical products, and tires. And come 1970s, the US manufacturing giants entered the nation, such as Intel, then Texas Instruments. And other US corporations would follow decades later and emerge the nation's economy. It has become normal to say that the US has become the largest economic and military ally of the Philippines in the last 100 years. Even in times of hardships, the US Agency for International Development has worked in the country to provide aid. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, through natural occurrences such as typhoons, and even through its internal conflicts. According to data from the US Department of State, the US has provided more than 69 million vaccines. The future of both countries, however, with China's presence growing, is going to be rocky. But with the right approaches, ties with the US can still be sustained.